State regime media, which calls itself Fox News, is in full panic mode as Donald Trump continues to collapse in the polls, and all of the Trump candidates are crashing as well. Take a look at what's going on in Texas, where these Latino districts that Donald Trump carried from anywhere between 10 to 18 points are all districts now where Democrats are favored to win. Texas 15th, Democratic candidate Bobby Polito is expected to win that race. Look at Texas 28. Look at Texas 34. Also in these congressional districts, each and every one of them, James Tallarico leads and leads significantly over Ken Paxton. And in these districts, Donald Trump carried him anywhere between 10 to 18. Just take a look at that. So what are they doing on state regime media as they are freaking out, not just about the race in Texas for that Senate seat, but all across the country right now? Look what they're saying about James Tallarico. It's so dang pathetic. Here, play this clip.
And actually, let me talk about faith first. There's no one who listens to Ken Paxton talk about Christianity who thinks that he has the moral high ground over a James Tallarico. So
Tallarico? Are you kidding me?
Oh, sorry, Tallafrico to you.
You know it. Thank you.
Okay.
That guy's been experimenting since day one. God knows on what, though. We'll be right back.
Kennedy?
I think now he's experimenting with heterosexuality. I think it's going very well for him.
Don't gay shame Jesse.
Celebrate whatever Jesse and James Tallarico were doing in that upcoming interview. Wink. Yes.
Then you've got panic on state regime media as Laura Ingraham says the following. Let's play this clip.
Yeah, I disagree with the conventional wisdom. I think you have to hammer them every single day until November. Cannot wait. These consultants drive me nuts, okay? They fly around in private jets. They collect a huge amount of money. And I think they're lying to these Republican candidates. This is going to be a brutal cycle. Republicans might pull it out. We all hope they do. But they have got to hammer that they're coming for your money, your gas-powered car, your air conditioner, everything you love, your private health insurance, and they're going to take it from you. Period. End of story. I'm sorry I'm getting mad, but I mean, I guess I should be a consultant or something. I don't know.
So then state regime media dedicated a lot of its programming to the culture wars, and they think that's how they're going to be able to convince voters to support MAGA Republican candidates. So they keep on inviting on this Enes Kanter Freedom guy. He used to be in the NBA, and now his whole thing is that he's like mocking the transgender community and like attacking the WNBA. And he's like, I'm a woman now, and I consider myself a woman, so I want to play in the WNBA. And Fox like pushes this over and over again. Here's what they do. Here, let's play this clip.
The WNBA told you or got in contact with you, they were reporting that sources were telling them that in fact you are not going to be eligible for the draft next year. Have you heard anything official?
No, please do not believe those news because they're all fake news. The NBA commissioner or the task force or the WNBA itself did not contact with us, or we didn't hear anything official. Listen, I'm a peacemaker. I'm not a troublemaker, and I'm a very easy person to deal with. If they ever have, some kind of issue, please come and talk to me. And listen, we're not asking anything difficult. All we're asking is Article 13, right? Section 1 says if you identify as a woman, you're allowed to play. So if tomorrow they can come up and add the word biological next to the female, I will drop everything immediately. But till then, I am allowed to play. I should be playing, and I will be getting ready for the 2027 WNBA draft.
Now, when they're not doing that, they've been focused on bashing Canada. I'm not sure why they think this is a recipe for success, but I guess that's what the Führer, that's what dear leader Donald Trump wants. By the way, when I say Führer and dear leader, let's also remember that yesterday, Donald Trump posted an image on various Trump White House accounts, which basically compared him in this movie to basically Nazis and to Hitler. amongst other bizarre and deranged posts that he was making yesterday. But in any event, here is Donald Trump Donald Trump's lackey Hannity saying the Canada's prime minister is working with China against us. Here, play this clip.
Now, with friends like that, who needs enemies? But it does get worse. At the outset of these negotiations earlier this year, Canada's far-left prime minister, he just jetted off to Beijing, where he promoted a new strategic partnership, with the Communist Chinese, the very same China that invaded Canada's sovereignty with at least one high-altitude spy balloon. But by the way, no problem, because the U.S. came to the rescue. We shot it down because Canada, they don't have the capability of shooting it down. Needless to say, Canada has totally lost the plot. Now, maybe if they are ever threatened or attacked, does America say, well, you're not good partners, you're on your own?
And then just like right out of like some weird bad guy narrative from like some corny B movie we would watch growing up, Hannity's like, Canada relies on us. They need us. How are we repaid? Threats? Anger? Disdain? You seem to forget the part, Hannity, where your Führer, where the Trump regime, which you are a part of as state regime media, said that you wanted to take over and conquer Canada and strip it of its sovereignty and turn it into the 51st state, and then launched a trade war against it and are trying to crush all of its industries. And they've responded to protect themselves. But you and Donald Trump, y'all are a bunch of predators. Here, play this clip.
Many come here for health care, even though they have free health care there. Now, in Canada, they rely on this country, the United States, your country, for revenue, for military protection, for oil refineries, for technology, medical, pharmaceutical advancements. And how are we repaid for our friendship and for our kindness? Now, for years before Donald Trump, was president, the only thanks we ever got were massive tariffs. And now we're getting hit with a lot of threats and a lot of anger and a lot of disdain. Any moment, President Trump, he attempts to negotiate a free, fair, reciprocal trade deal. Well, this is what happens. Take a look.
Doug Ford also told the Associated Press that if this fight gets worse, the way he put it is everything is on the table, including cutting off electricity from Ontario going into the United States. Do you support that move?
Well, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Upping the price of the electricity, we have to get attention because this cannot continue.
Proactively cutting off electricity going into the United States. You would support that move as a measure to get the U.S. to the negotiating table.
Well, I think whatever our premier needs to do.
Now, with friends like that, who needs enemies?
You know that moment at the airport when you're trying to hold a coffee, your phone's dying, TSA wants your laptop out, and suddenly you're juggling everything while the line behind you gets impatient? I feel like that happens to me every time I travel. That's why I become obsessed with Noble. This is their all-in-one carry-on, and it's one of those products where you wonder why nobody's thought of this sooner. First, there's a built-in flip-out cup holder, which sounds simple until you're standing in line at security or waiting at the gate with nowhere to put your coffee. It's one of my favorite features. It also has a built-in charging port, so if your phone's hanging on by 2%, you don't have to fight over that one airport outlet that everyone else is using. Then there's the front laptop pocket. It makes getting through TSA so much easier because you can grab your laptop in seconds instead of digging through your suitcase while everyone behind you stares at you. The 360-degree wheels are incredibly smooth. The bag just glides next to you instead of feeling like you're dragging a heavy suitcase through the airport. And one feature I really love is that there's no zipper at all. Instead, it locks with a secure latch system that can't be pried open the way zippered luggage can. It's a much smarter design. I went with the all-in-one suitcase in midnight blue, and I love how clean and premium it looks. It really stands out in the airport without being flashy at all, and even if you're not flying first class, your luggage definitely looks like it belongs there. Noble gives you a real travel peace of mind, security, design, and convenience all in one. They are the #1 top-rated luggage on Trustpilot. Every suitcase comes with a 100-day money-back guarantee, free 3-day express shipping, shipping and a lifetime warranty, so it's really the last suitcase that you'll ever need to buy. They sell out fast, so don't wait. Upgrade to luggage that looks better, lasts longer, and travels smarter. Head to nobletravel.com for up to 46% off your entire order. That's NOBL travel.com for up to 46% off. After you purchase, they will ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you.
More from Hannity over here saying, and if you vote people like Tallarico, and if you vote people like that, you will end up like Canada. He suggests the U.S. will end up like Canada if the Democrats win the midterms. Hey, that would be great. That would actually be amazing. Here, play this clip.
Now, all of this is a warning of what will happen to our country 69 days from now if radicalized Democrats get their way and win a midterm. Canada's become so woke, so far left, so anti-Trump, so radical socialist left. They have become crazy climate alarmists, and they're wrapped up in this idiotic land acknowledgement, whatever scheme of theirs, gender theory, that they seem to view communism. And the communist Chinese as a better partner than the U.S. Meanwhile, they do depend on us for their very existence and survival. California, frankly, really no different.
Then you had Ted Cruz on the Dan Kane show, and he was like, James Tallarico would make a great candidate in California. What does it even mean? Here, play this clip.
We got a campaign right now. We got to make the case to the voters, and I think we're going to win in November. I think Tallarico would be a great Senate candidate for California, but thank God Texas is not California. Thank God.
Then you had Laura Ingraham bring on Jamieson Greer to attack Canada, and Greer's like, Canada came to us and wanted to negotiate a deal. We offered them a better deal, and we believed we had a deal, but ultimately, they're just doing this for politics. No, you attacked them, and then even Donald Trump admitted publicly that he changed the deal at the last minute. Trump said that. He admitted it publicly. Play this clip.
What exactly, really understandable for the American people, pushed Canada supposedly over the edge on Friday?
So, Laura, thanks for having me on. But that is the key question. On Tuesday evening, we had reached details of the agreement to do exactly what you mentioned. Canada has had the best access to the U.S. market over the past year and a half, even with all the different tariff actions we've taken. And they came to us and they wanted to negotiate a deal. And we said, fine, we're happy to do that. And we offered them an even better deal to reduce their tariffs on steel, aluminum, autos, and lumber to the best in the world. And we believed we had a deal. They went back to Ottawa. They came back the next day. They took issue with how some of it might be implemented. But ultimately, when what seemed like a political decision, they decided to reject this and go in favor of some of the rhetoric you're seeing now.
And then Jamieson Greer, the trade representative for the United States, is like, and Donald Trump has taken strong action to attack the entire world. Again, just utterly deranged stuff right here.
Well, one of the interesting takes on all of this came from like a Chinese state media source, essentially saying that Canada launched a Chinese-style counterattack against the United States. It was almost like, I mean, conspiracy theory sounds like a conspiracy theory, but almost sounds like they were consulting with China on how to deal with Trump, when perhaps they think Trump is perhaps slightly more vulnerable politically than he was a year ago.
Well, Laura, if you just look back at the past year and a half of the Trump presidency, the president has taken strong action against the world. We haven't really singled countries out. We have a global action to protect American jobs, American industry. I have two countries that have retaliated over that time: the People's Republic of China and Canada. And by the way, in a lot of ways, we've settled out with China on key issues. So it's really just Canada. So they are mimicking the kind of things that Canada would do at the same time that they're welcoming Chinese electric vehicles and potential investment in Chinese auto production in Canada.
Now, you mean they're mimicking China, what China would do?
That's exactly right, yes.
You have Ainsley Earhart, Sean Hannity's wife, who is a host on state regime media, and she has to try to fear monger over socialism. This is what she had to say. Let's play this clip right here.
I don't know why these Democrats are now trying to distance themselves from him now, why they're criticizing him now. Too little, too late. They're saying it's too little, too late for El Sayed. I'm saying it's too little, too late for all of them. The whole Democratic Party should have said, y'all are all crazy. The socialism thing is not going to work. This will not be good for our country. And I thought it was the younger people that were for socialism because they don't know much about socialism. But these are adults. These are people that have experience. These are people that know individuals from Cuba or Venezuela. They know how socialism works and they want to bring it to America. And it's crazy. We are one generation away from extinction, as Ronald Reagan said. So if socialism comes into our country, then we're all doomed. We need to get dual citizenship and move somewhere at some point.
Laura Ingraham back with Jameson Greer. Are toilet paper prices going to go up? This is what they think is a good approach here. Play this clip.
I mean, they're mimicking China, what China would do.
That's exactly right, yes.
The media is going crazy over what they think is unfair treatment of our friends, the Canadians. This is my favorite of all the headlines, I think, from The Guardian, obviously a liberal rag in the UK. But they're warning that this tariff action against Canada and the trade war is going to lead to surging toilet paper prices. Because of I guess your failure, Jameson. Like you couldn't get. So now everybody can't afford their toilet paper. Is there any truth to that toilet paper headline?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's pretty silly, right? I mean, the reality is the tariffs that were imposed on Saturday on Canada. We warned Canada 5 weeks ago about this. Everyone knew this could happen, and it only affects about 5% of imports from Canada into the United States. You know, only like 0.2% of American imports overall, only 0.06% of American consumption. So the concept that this could have any kind of meaningful effect on the United States is quite limited. And guess what? If there's something in there that has some negative effect that is brought to the attention of President Trump, he can do what he needs to do. I mean, this is just not going to lead to any economic Armageddon for us.
Are toilet paper prices going to go up?
I highly doubt that based on this. We make toilet paper in America, right? We make it here.
No. Well, they're very upset with you in the American media because if it's a choice between China and the United States or Canada and the United States, they're never going with the United States with Trump in office. Never. They're always going to go with Canada and China. That's a Ingram Angle rule of thumb. Mr. Ambassador, we can't wait to see what happens next. This is quite dramatic. Thank you very much.
And then state regime media, which calls itself Fox, had to admit that inflation came in hotter than expected. The PCE readout much higher than what was supposed to happen as Donald Trump continues to cause inflation to surge. Here, let's play this clip.
Indeed, we did just get that latest read on inflation, the PCE for July, and the headline number coming in slightly higher than expected with core PCE inflation in line. But as you can see, up 3.7% year over year. We were expecting 3.6. Let's take a look at the markets and how they've reacted. And as Cheryl just noted, the Dow in the pre-market was up 100 points, is now down 13. S&P and NASDAQ also pointing lower.
And look, state regime media can do all the propaganda they want, but they're not going to change the data. And you know that I'm a data geek, so let's just dig into the data quickly. Take a look at some of these charts that I think are important to share right now. Here you go. Steve Ratner, goods prices were flat or falling when Trump entered office. Then came Liberation Day, tariffs, which have driven the spike in goods and overall inflation. Last quarter, corporate profits reached their highest share of GDP ever recorded, 13.2%. Another, corporations are getting rich, people are getting screwed. PCE inflation is still elevated at 3.7%, almost double the Fed target. It was going down at the end of former President Biden's administration. Quarter two, 2026 GDP growth was down to 1.5%, according to the second estimate released in the morning. That provides further evidence of an ongoing slowdown under Donald Trump. U.S. debt surpassed 100% of GDP this year and is on track to reach 188% over the next 30 years. And Trump regime is largely responsible for most of that. That's what we have for now, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Breaking news right now, my brothers and I wrote a book. It's called WTF America. And well, doesn't that just say it all? It comes out officially this October, but you can pre-order your copy today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description below.